Hey, Darren,
Hey, thanks for your time. How's your day going aside from having to do media?
I'm pissed off because I can't park in front of my studio because all these knuckleheads, it's in an industrial area, and these guys park all these beat ass cars in front like for 3 hours. And it's like my wife can't get into her studio, which is right next door. So I got a pissed off wife, so good, always good. And I'm irritated because I have to do this interview from my car. But that being said, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm glad to be speaking with you again, and we're going to keep it short but sweet so you can park better and get out into that wonderful weather. Are you wearing that New York cap because you're speaking with a New Yorker, or is it just?
You better take a look. You better ask somebody.
You see,
You will
when
never.
you had your head
You
down,
will,
it
ne-
looks like a
you
Yankee.
will never. You will never see a Yankees hat on this head ever.
Well,
I mean, I was given one by a Yankee, and I'm not going to say who, but you know who he is. I'm like, brother, that's very kind of you, and I'll keep it, but I'm not going to wear it. He's like, come on. Well, nope. Been a Dodger fan since I was 7 years old. 50. I'm 60 years old. Do the math. Ain't changing.
well, before I ask you about World of Noise, I had one stupid question, and that's: does anyone in the world call you Artie, or are you Art to everyone?
There is one person that's called me Artie that hasn't got punched in the face. One guy. I'm not fucking around. I'm not
Just
lying. One guy. Dickie Barrett from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
makes
Dickie
sense.
can call me because he's one, I get to call him Dickie, and two, he used to scare the shit out of me. He's not so scary anymore, but back in the 90s, he was fierce.
The voice is
Artie, Artie, Artie boy, come here, Artie. I'll take it from him. It's part of the culture, right? Anybody else gets whooped on.
Well,
I
hey,
swear to God, I got kicked out of like fourth grade, fifth grade, seventh grade, and I think probably ninth grade for people calling me Artie, and I punched him in the face.
wow. Okay, lesson learned. Let's get the word out on that. So, 30th anniversary of World of Noise, which I did own in the mid 90s. Kudos to me.
You did?
Taste. But the reissue of it, this deluxe packaging, is it because the rights reverted back to you upon 30 years?
No. No, the rights reverted back to me in 99. But I wasn't in 99, I had bigger fish to fry. I wasn't worried about World of Noise. There was still some pieces out there that people could buy. So I wasn't really worried about it. And at the time there was no digital platforms. It was Sean Napster talking about cultural revolution and shit like that.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an issue. By 2010, you started seeing, iTunes, or even before that, iTunes and Spotify and Pandora and services like that. That became a thing about 10 years later after it reverted back to me in 99. And I was going to do it, but to be honest with you, I wasn't all that excited about it because I didn't like the sound of the mastering that Capitol had done, and I couldn't find, I didn't know where the original tapes were. I thought they were gone. And I went through storage this year. Got me and a couple of guys from the band, and my wife got all Marie Kondo on stuff, over the holidays.
Sure.
In January, I found a box that was all taped up that I thought it belonged, we had marked it that it belonged to her mom, to my wife, my mother-in-law. And I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to look in here and see what it is so I can tell her what it is she needs to get out of my storage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I look in it and it's full of tapes. Some in boxes, some just sitting there, just naked, And I'm like, oh my God. And I start looking through it. I've got all the original master 4-quarter-inch 8-tracks,
Right.
for World of Noise. I've got the original master and the mixtapes for World of Noise. I got the original mix and master tapes for the band before World of Noise, Color Figure, which copies of that CD are selling anywhere from $300 to $500 online.
Right.
So I'm gonna put that out next year. But no, when I found that, I'm like, the 30th anniversary of the band, we recorded it 30 years ago. Let's do it. Let's do it now. And I had to pay a bunch of money out of my pocket to have an archivist clean the tapes, bake the tapes,
That was my
know,
next question. Anytime I speak to somebody who does an archival thing, Gene Simmons told me about baking the tapes. Don Dockett told me about baking the tapes. You had to bake the tapes too.
well, I didn't bake them in my Viking stove, you know.
Right, not in your
It's just no, it's a special guy. You go to this guy, he's great. He's wonderful. He's been around for years. And I was referred to him by a friend of mine, and he did all the tapes and dropped everything down to 2 different hard disks. So I got backup, and I mean serious hard disks, like big ass, you know, like 10 terabyte type hard disks, and which is ridiculous, you know.
Yeah.
But I got everything there. So we're gonna put out vinyl. We put it on digital platforms, digital platforms, June 10th. And now we're vinyl, CDs, because apparently some people still buy CDs.
Some do, yeah.
I didn't know. Who knew? And cassettes, because the kids love the cassettes.
Yeah.
Even if they don't listen to it, you know, kids collect them and trade those cassettes. And I'm just like, okay, they think it's kitsch and cool. I think cassettes suck. I've always thought cassettes suck. They sound horrible.
Yeah, usually they do. But there's a lot of titles that never came out after cassette, so that's kind of your only hope.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's going to be end of the year, early next year. It's the deal's in place. It's happening. We're getting artwork done and stuff. So it's going to be a really cool vinyl package. But other than that, no, I wasn't waiting for anything. I just, you know, I eventually was going to do it with the mastering from '94 that Capitol did without my okay, which was against our contract. I could have sued them for it, but at the time I'm selling millions of records. I'm really going to sue my label? Not a good idea.
Yeah.
So,
usually does not end well unless you want your stuff to never be licensed again. So, you know,
well, not by them. Yeah, I mean, you don't sue somebody unless you want to get a divorce. You're not gonna sue somebody and then have a happy marriage after that. It doesn't work.
Probably not. Probably not. So, one of the
99 times out of 100, no, it doesn't work.
So beyond your catalog, one of the things I admire about you is how you've evolved and always taken chances, that you're not just the dude from Everclear who wrote and sang the songs, you know, A&R work, producing and writing for other artists, acting, the congressional work you did. One thing I was curious about was if back in the days of World of Noise that you knew you wanted to do all that, or it's just organically all that happened for you?
Yeah, I mean, I acted as a kid and people got really excited about it, but I was not that excited about it. I like doing it, but you know, I mean, I had agents telling my mom I was going to be the next James Dean and all this shit. I was like 14, 15. I'm like, guys, I want to play guitar in a rock band. And then I'm thinking also, I want to get laid and I want to do drugs. Those are the 3 things I want to do. And going to acting school, no, that doesn't fit. That doesn't fit the look. But so all joking aside, I like to do a lot of stuff, and I you know, the term Renaissance man and all that, it's kind of pretentious. I just like to work, and if I got creative ideas, I want to do them. I like music. If I hear other bands, I want to work with them. If they excite me. If they don't excite me, even if they got hits, I refer them to other people. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to ever do anything that isn't fun. If I'm not enjoying it, I don't want to do it. I make a good living. I'm not.
Right.
Greed has never been a thing for me, like being rich. I'm the kind of guy that won't buy a lottery ticket when it's $1 billion because I don't want a fucking $1 billion. I don't want my life to change. Like $22 million. Yeah, I could get down with that. After taxes, I'd have about 10. Yeah, I could get down with $10 million. I don't have to worry about if I end up in a wheelchair because of my MS, I'll have some money. You know, that's how I think. I'm very middle class is what I aspire to. Seriously. It's seriously what I aspire to.
Very refreshing to hear. And another thing that I'm very curious about is I think that you really led the way with the Summerland Tour, that you kind of showed, hey, this is a successful thing with representing bands from an era. And then you get the people who go, I like 90s music in the room, and then you can play the new stuff and wow them with the new stuff. But this current tour is not being billed as Summerland, even though you have some, quote, 90s bands on it. Is Summerland coming back?
I think so. I think so. We'll take a look at it next year. I think so. We've actually got a couple offers from bigger bands to open for the next year. And it might be nice to recharge and do that, you know, and take a year and do that. So I'm considering it, looking at the money and looking at everything, and just, you know, it might be nice just to do that for a year and open for like these classic bands, one from the 80s, one from the 90s, maybe, you know, do that for a year and just, you know, build up more people, like build up, you know, and then go back out in 2023 or 2024 rather. Yeah, I don't know. We might do it next year. I got a band I've been trying to get on Summerland forever and ever. Was like Forever would saying they weren't a 90s band. Now they're trying to go out with other 90s bands and no one's doing it. So I reached out to their management, through my management, and said, do you guys want to talk about next year? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay. And this is a band that didn't want to talk, and I love them. So we'll see. You know,
Have to see. Two questions, and then I'm going to let you park and roam free. And the first one is, the timing of your career is very curious in that you survived the Sunset Strip era. Then World of Noise, when it originally came out on Tim Care Records, not too far from when the Dandy Warhols were on there. So you were part of the indie rock kind of thing, the hipster, way too cool for school thing. But at the same time, a lot of people pegged you as being a post-grunge band. So it's always been confusing to go like, which era is Art, because he's been all over the place. But was Van Halen ever part of your vernacular?
Fuck yeah. I mean, so this is the deal. I was 6, it was my 16th birthday. I'm in Houston, Texas. I had been sent to Texas because I got in trouble with the police, but I was going to go home the next day. And I'm in the back of a car. We're going to a party. And my friend's hot 18-year-old sister told me that she was my birthday present. And she's fully making out with me in the back seat of the car. And she has a college boyfriend. She's like, I'm yours tonight. I'm like, this is awesome. And in the back of the car, I hear Eruption on the radio. And I'm like, turn it up. And I hear him play Eruption. Then it goes into
You Really Got Me.
You Really Got Me.
Yeah.
With just that big ass guitar and drum sound. Just for Ted Templeman's production on that. It's fucking phenomenal. And I'm just like, I'm never going to be the fastest guitar player in the world. And I'm sitting there depressed, even with these big breasts in my hands. I'm still depressed. And then the song after, he goes, we're going to change it up a little bit. This is a guy from the UK. This is Elvis Costello. This is called Watching the Detectives. And they play it. And I'm like, oh my God, his voice and the just attitude, just dripping, and the lyrics and the cleverness of it, and just the melodicism. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Next day, when I got home, my mom from the airport took me by and said, what do you want for your birthday? I go, I want 2 albums. She goes, okay. And she takes me and buys me Van Halen 1 and My Aim Is True. And if you look at Everclear, we're a singer-songwriter with a big, heavy hard rock / punk rock guitar sound. And you got to remember, I've lived through punk rock, new wave, alternative, hip hop. Hip hop was big for me. So it's all there if you look at it. And you're talking about the Sunset Strip. Sunset Strip never wanted anything to do with me, and I never wanted anything to do with them, because it was by the 80s, it was all guys that had more hair than the girls I dated. I mean, they were more high. Seriously, they were more high maintenance than any girl I would date. If I met a girl with that much hair, I'd be like, nah. I mean, it was crazy.
Right.
So, but we couldn't get gigs because it was all pay to play and spandex wearing, you know,
Bill
metal
Gazzara
rock.
did not think you were foxy enough, probably.
I was not. Bill Gazzara did not think I was a foxy guy. We only got foxy guys. I'm funny. That's funny that you know that, being from New York. That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, Bill Gazzara would have nothing to do with me. And so in '87, me and my wife at the time, Anita, my first wife, moved to San Francisco because you could get gigs there, right? And it wasn't that kind of scene. And I'm glad I did. So I moved up there. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the Dandy Warhols, I mean, we got signed in '93 to Tim Kerr. We were the biggest thing ever. They signed the Dandy Warhols at least 2 years later, or a year and a half, 2 years later. Dandy Warhols weren't even a band at the time. The drummer, the singer, Courtney Taylor, who became Courtney Taylor, gonna leave it at that, was the drummer for a schlocky rock band called, that wanted to be the Doors really bad, called Nero's Rome. But I knew he wanted to do other things. And he started the Dandies after that. And yes, we were considered kind of a hit band for a long time by a lot of people. Go figure. Not by people in Portland, they didn't like us, but a lot of people did. See, when you say people in Portland didn't like us, we're talking about 20 people, basically.
Right. You left Portland and that scene before Nike and Google kind of took over Portland.
No, Nike was already huge. Nike was already huge, but they weren't really in Portland. Their campus was south a little bit, but Google came later. Yeah, and then the legalization of pot and all that stuff. But at the time, I mean, to this day, we are the biggest selling band out of Oregon, hands down. No one else.
Proud of that one.
It is what it is. With three guys who weren't from Portland, we were all transplants for different reasons, you know.
Sure.
And then the guy that came in and played drums with us as we got signed, Greg, he was from outside of Portland as well. So, but Portland was a lot like that, and I think a lot of the locals resented that. You know, I don't know why, but because I come from LA, which is kind of a melting pot. Everybody's from somewhere else. I was one of the few people actually born and raised in LA, in Santa Monica, you know. So
there you go.
Anyway, I never took it personal like those guys did. And it became this thing with some people. This one guy from a band who had an affair with my girlfriend, who became my second wife. And, you know, I just, is what it is. Looking back on it, it's people in their 20s doing stupid shit. You know?
Well, whether or not that's how you want to look at Art of Noise, World of Noise, people do
Art of Noise.
That was an interesting band as well, Art of Noise. But World of Noise, congratulations on getting it out and widely distributed with the outtakes. Hope Summerland comes back, and looking forward to whatever's coming next from you, whether it's a follow-up to Sun Songs, whatever it is. Thank you for the many years of great art.
Thank you, brother. I just want to let you know, we have a new single that we're working on. I got to go in and hit some more vocals on it next week. And we hope to have it out September, October with a video. It's called The Year of the Tiger.
Cool.
And yeah, it's a new single. And I like this thing of doing 1 to 2 songs a year and doing a little video for it for a few grand. Maybe get an art student to do it or a film student to do it.
Yeah.
Just have fun. See, that shit sounds fun. That goes back to my whole thing of that sounds fun. Going in the studio and writing 13 songs and producing them to, you know, that doesn't sound fun. I've done it. I've done it like 12 times. I don't need to do it again.
Been there, done that. Well, have a wonderful rest of the day and just keep up all the greatness out there.
Thank you, Darren. Appreciate the time, brother.
My pleasure. Take care.
Paltrocast.